What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So let's talk Las Vegas Raiders. So the Raiders have pick 7. You know, the dream scenario for the Las Vegas Raiders is they get C.J. Stroud or Jalen Carter, in my opinion. Jalen Carter would be just what the doctor ordered for the Las Vegas Raiders. If you watch this team, this is a team that, Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, they were doing their thing, getting the rush on the outside, but the interior rush was lacking so much that a lot of times quarterbacks could just step up, and Max Crosby and Chandler Jones just went right around them. This is a team that, defensive back obviously is a need, but to me, you get a guy like Jalen Carter, and all of a sudden, Max Crosby is getting home more because the quarterback can't step up in the pocket. Some of those run lanes are getting plugged, and you're getting more third, second, and long, and the defensive backs are starting to look a little better. And, the Raiders' defensive back, not terrible as a whole. Trayvon Merrick's a guy that's had flashes, former TCU Horned Frog. You bring in Marcus Epps, who's been solid from Philadelphia. You still have Nate Hobbs, who's been a pretty solid corner, a guy that can play nickel and on the outside. He's also a good tackler. They release Rock Ya-Sin, bring in David Long, Duke Shelby. So, corner, obviously, whether it's Gonzalez, Witherspoon there at 8, obviously is something that could be on their mind, but to me, the Raiders getting Jalen Carter, is one dream scenario. The other one, C.J. Stroud, the other one. Why I love C.J. Stroud to the Raiders is, this guy is the Raiders already have an offensive line where C.J. Stroud will have enough time to throw. So C.J. Stroud is a guy with time to throw, can make the right decision, pinpoint accuracy, whether it's downfield, over the middle. And Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams seem like just great compliments for C.J. Stroud, because Stroud's already proven that he can find the slot receiver like Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he can find the guy like Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison, the deep threat down the field, a guy that can win contested catches, a guy that wins consistently on the outside. So to me, C.J. Stroud feels like a perfect fit for the Las Vegas Raiders and Josh McDaniels offense. So those are the two dream scenarios at pick 7 for the Las Vegas Raiders: Jalen Carter or C.J. Stroud. Also think, Brian Bresee, if he somehow slipped to the second round, that'd be a nice, because, Bresee's a guy that actually can rush the passer fairly well, and you'd love a guy that could just get a push in the interior of the defensive line, a big dude, a guy that was a former, top overall recruit out of high school, who just, like I touched on in my mock draft, a guy that's, you still believe's got some more meat on the bone as far as room to grow as a football player. Yeah, like I touched on the offensive line, Dylan Parham really looked good. They brought back Alec Bars at guard. Right tackle's been a little shaky. They threw out Thayer Mumford from Ohio State out there, who's a 7th-round pick. But Colton Miller's been really good at left tackle. So, the Raiders' offensive line, they could go offensive line at 7, and then at this, that would probably be my third option for the Las Vegas Raiders, is to go offensive line, because you had a guy like Paris Johnson, Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright maybe would probably be most ideal, because then you could play him. You could just plug him right in at that right tackle, which is a weakness for the Raiders, and you're good to go. But this is a Raiders team where it was. They were Derek Carr kept them competitive, but quarterback, an elite quarterback or an elite defensive lineman, like I've just harped on, Jalen Carter and C.J. Stroud would make a huge difference in this Las Vegas Raiders team. So I'm going to wrap with that. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Big Time Football Talk, guys. Stay tuned for more episodes and clips from the show. Till next time, peace.